What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. So there are actually 3 big takeaways from this book, and the first one is that Aylin is going back to Rifthold. She's there to confront her past. She's going to meet back up with Chaol and Nezra and see what's going on there. She finds out about Adian's imprisonment and she decides that she's going to set him free. So we do see her come back. She's in disguise. She's laying low. We find out that there are a lot of Vogue infiltrating the city of Rifthold, but she meets back up with Chaol, who's been working with the rebels, and they're trying to start working with Arobynn, which she's not super happy about. But her meeting back up with Chaol is very interesting because you have to remember, Aylin has already worked through her darkness, so she's already on the other side of it. Chaol hasn't yet. He has not gone through his period of healing yet, so he is still very angry, and he's still holding on to a lot of blame for Aylin for all of the stuff that he's been through, for everything that he's gone through in Heir of Fire, for where he's at right now. And because of that, it can make their meeting seem a little bit unsatisfying, but we're gonna see him go through that healing later, just not quite yet. But he's been working with the rebels. He's been working with somebody named Nezra and Philique, and they are the ones who tell Aylin about Adian being captured, and she decides that that's going to be her priority. She has to set him free because he is set to be executed on Prince Dorian's birthday. Now, Dorian currently has a wordstone collar around his neck because he has a demon prince inside of him. There is a lot of debate to whether or not he can be saved. Aylin is pretty sure that he is totally gone, that the prince has totally taken over, and it would be a mercy to kill him. And Chaol is like, no way, he's my best friend, he's worth saving, we are going to do everything possible to save him. And that does start a little bit of some friction between these characters because one wants one thing and the other one wants something completely different. But they do break into the birthday party, they do manage to save Adian, and that takes us to our next big thing that happens in this book, and that's Aylin confronting her past and taking down Arobynn. She knows that he has the amulet of Orinth that she had on her person when she fled the castle all those years ago, and she knows that there is a word key inside of it, so she's going to try to take him down. But she's not going to be doing this alone. She is confronting her abuser, and she's not the only one doing so. We actually meet back up with Lysandra, who was introduced in the Assassin's Blade, and she's a courtesan. She went through pretty much exactly what Aylin went through, except instead of training to be an assassin, she was being trained for the bedroom, and she seeks Aylin out. She wants to help her. She wants to try to take down Arobynn, and they form a really amazing friendship, and this is really awesome for Aylin because after Nehemia's death, she had a lot of trouble connecting with people, and finally having another female friend again really allows for a lot more light to just come inside Aylin, and it's just another step on that road of healing that we've been seeing her walk down, and I absolutely love that. We learn a whole lot about Lysandra too, and just all of this darkness that's inside of her as well. Before magic disappeared, she used to be a shapeshifter, so she's a beast in fine clothing, and as she observes, Aylin is one as well. During this time, we also meet back up with Rowan, who, yes, he did follow Aylin there, but really, he was tracking Lorcan, who disappeared off to Rifthold as well. He's trying to hunt down the keys for Maeve. Maeve doesn't know this, but that's what he's doing, and he was worried that Lorcan might do something to sabotage Aylin or kill her or something. So we do get a nice little reunion there. We learn a lot about the corruption and what's going on with the demons and how exactly they're being controlled. But this part of the story all comes to a head when they do kill Arobynn, and Aylin inherits everything because she was doctoring a lot of his will documents and bank documents, all this stuff. So she inherits everything, she sells it back to the Assassin's Keep, and now suddenly she has all of her funds that she's going to use to raise an army. So before we get into the last big thing that happens in the story, we do need to talk about Manon's side of the story. She's in Morath, she has been crowned wing leader, her and her 13 are there serving Duke Parrington, and things are not going very well. This is where Erewhon's forces are amassing. They're doing some crazy demon experiments, and they want a witch coven so that they can sow stones into them and breed Vogue kings, and I don't know, it's really creepy. But Manon's grandmother wants her to be part of this. She wants Manon to select covens for the breeding experiment. She wants that brutality and loyalty that has been drilled into Manon since day one. And as her story goes on, she meets up with Elide, who's also living there as well, and she sees the hardships that she's been going through. She sees that amazing hope that Elide still has, and sees what's going on with her 13. A rift had been driven between her and Astyrian. Manon finally starts to learn how to hope, and we start to see some humanity shine through with her, and by the end of this book, she wants something more. She wants to try to help people. She's just not quite sure how she's going to go about doing that yet. She does help Elide escape with the help of Kaltain Rompier, actually. So if you don't remember Kaltain, she's been like the slave to Duke Parrington for quite some time. They actually sewed the second word key into her arm, so she somehow was able to eat away at the demon inside of her, take that power for herself, and after she helps Manon and Elide escape, she completely like explodes and takes out half of Morath with her. Of course, nobody who you'd want to die actually dies there, but it's still pretty awesome. So going back to Aylin's side of the story, and the last big thing that happens is her going to confront the king, going to rescue Dorian, and freeing magic. She does all of that stuff at one time. She does find out that Dorian can be saved, that he is still inside somewhere from Manon, which is kind of interesting the way all of that works out. But they blow up the big watchtower, which frees magic. A huge fight breaks out between her and Dorian, and then Chaol and the king. Chaol is very seriously wounded. He doesn't die, but he is paralyzed from the waist down, and Aylin does manage to rescue Dorian. They break that wordstone collar around his neck, and he vanquishes the demon inside of him. And at this point, he is confronted with the King of Adarlan, and we find out that the king has just been a pawn all this time. The real threat is Erewhon, and he is inside Duke Parrington. So the king was kind of just a diversion. Like, he wasn't the real problem here, but he has been a pawn for so long, and all he wanted was to protect Dorian. He wanted to protect his son so that nothing would ever happen to him, and that's why he banished magic, because he thought if he did that, then maybe Dorian's power would never be awakened, and maybe he would never become enslaved to the Vogue. Unfortunately, things didn't really work out the way he wanted them to, and Dorian still harbors a lot of anger for that, which results in him killing his father and shattering the glass castle. Aylin does instate Dorian as king, and now we have this broken kingdom to kind of contend with. So at the end of this book, going into Empire of Storms, we have Elide on foot in the Oakwalled Forest with one of the word keys, going to find Selena Sardathian. She does not know that Aylin is the same person, but that's who Kaltain told her to go find, told her to give the word key to. We do have Chaol, who has been gravely wounded. He is being sent along with Nezrin to the southern continent, which will meet back up with them in Tower of Dawn to heal, to hopefully bring forth some armies to help with this war that is soon forming. And then we have Aylin, who is going back to Terrasen. She's going to try to retake her throne, and she has one of the word keys, and she has a little bit of a court going on. She's got Rowan, she's got Adian, and she's got Lysandra. This is going into some big stuff. Like, once we get into Empire of Storms, what's happening there is really all of the threads starting to come together. So I don't really want to say that this is like the last happy ending, but I do want to say that things are going to start getting a lot heavier from here. So it's very, very exciting. But there is a lot more to this book. There is a lot more underneath the surface. There are a lot of more details. So if you want to fill in any of the blanks for anybody, you can do so down in the comments down below. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can talk books with me every week. That is everything I got for today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!